Imagine if your free and private AI agent replied instantly instead of making you wait 30 seconds for every message. Until today, my Hermes agent on Gemma 4 was painfully slow. Good in theory, not great in practice. Then Olama shipped a token prediction system, and the same Hermes agent that used to lag now answers in seconds. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to upgrade your local AI agent stack so it runs instantly on Gemma 4, costs you absolutely nothing, stays private on your own machine, and lets you use over 9,000 plus apps that you already know and love. And you don't need to know what multi-token prediction is, you don't need a $3,000 laptop, and you can do this even if you've never touched a terminal before. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jimmy Barkway. I run a profitable AI startup. And if you haven't already, grab yourself a fresh cup of tea and let's dive straight in. So when Gemma 4 dropped, it was exciting because all of a sudden you can run powerful models locally on your machine and completely free. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google released Gemma 4 a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden you can run these local models either on a phone for the smaller models or on any laptop with 16 to 32 gigs of RAM. It's great for agentic workflows. It can understand images, audio, video, anything you give it in those formats. It can support over 140 languages, and it is incredibly efficient, which is why it's easy to run these on these machines. And you can see when you compare performance to other local models and how this stacks up with the total model size being significantly smaller. But the problem this came with is that it still wasn't as quick as we are used to when using models like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT. But with this multi-token prediction update from Olama, instead of just running the big Gemma 4 model, Olama also runs a smaller model that predicts the next few tokens every time you send a message, which the main model can verify. At the end of the day, this speeds up the response time from Gemma 4. Now, there's a few different models with Gemma. Their E2B model you can run on most smartphones, which is amazing in itself. The E4B you can run on a reasonably powerful laptop. And then these two bigger models, they require 16 gigs of RAM minimum for 26B. You'd be a lot more comfortable on 32 gigs of RAM if you want everything to be running smoothly. And then 31B, really 32 gigs of RAM is the absolute minimum. 64 gigs, you would be much more comfortable. You could run other apps as well as this at the same time without everything crashing out. Now, what I'm going to show you today is the Gemma 4 31B Cloud run on Olama's servers. Now, they have a very generous free tier, so you can actually run the power of the 31B model to power your Hermes agent completely free. No more paying Claude thousands of dollars every month in API costs when you've got models like this that can do the job. I'll show you Hermes agent today, but videos coming up soon to cover how to set up Claude Code as well, and maybe even OpenClaw with the Gemma 4 models. Think of Gemma 4 like the engine that powers all of these, and with multi-token prediction, this engine works 2 to 3 times faster. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be a complete replacement for Claude Opus. What I am saying is for most things outside of coding, Gemma 4 31B is going to be more than capable, even on those coding tasks that don't require a ton of reasoning depth. But for those big, complex coding projects, you can still switch to Claude Opus. So the big headline here, Gemma 4 31B powering your Hermes agent is free and pretty much instant. Good for 90% of your projects. Let's get stuck in. I've put together this Notion guide with all the commands that you're going to need, everything that we're going to cover today, everything you need to get your Hermes agent up and running with Gemma 4. And that'll be in the first link below, which will take you to the community. And once you're in, just come to the classroom, come down to the AI Vault, and at the top right here, you've got Hermes and Gemma 4, and down the bottom, you've got your Notion guide right there. First thing we're going to need is Olama. Olama gives you access to a ton of great free models that you can install locally on your machine, but today we'll use the 31B Cloud because they also host free models on their own servers, which means you can access these free models without needing a $3,000 to $5,000 laptop to be able to actually run them. So you can just download this command right here, paste that into your terminal, and it's going to download Olama onto your laptop. Install complete, you can now run Olama. If you're not familiar with Hermes agents, then you can think of it kind of like OpenClaw, but much better. OpenClaw's been running into a lot of issues lately, meaning every time I update, it crashes, it stops working, you have to restart the gateway constantly. Two things with Hermes agent that I really like. One, that doesn't happen. Two, its skills improve over time automatically. You can think of an agent skill like a markdown file. It's just a wall of text that teaches your agent the correct way to do something. So you can make it an expert on pretty much anything by laying out the instructions in that skill. Now with OpenClaw, you had to feed it these skills to go find them on the internet, look at skill libraries. With Hermes agent, it's building these for you on autopilot. Or you can run it on a VPS if you want it running 24/7, even when you close your laptop lid. And I do have another video on that, which you can watch just here. And as soon as you're back, we can crack on with this. You can copy this install command. Difficult, right? Yeah, they really made this easy. We're back into our terminal. We'll paste in that command, and it's going to automatically install all the dependencies you need. If you have OpenClaw on your system, it'll ask you if you want to import anything over. For this, I want a fresh install, so I'll hit N for no and press enter. And then it'll ask you if you want to do a quick setup or a full setup. I recommend going for a quick setup because that covers everything we need in a video. And it gives you a ton of different options for models that you want to be powering your AI agent. And for Gemma 4, using Olama Cloud, come down to Olama Cloud. Don't press enter, press space to select, and then that'll take you here. And then we need an Olama API key. And to get that, just come back to Olama, hit settings, hit keys, just call it whatever you like, and just copy this key, come back to our terminal, and paste that in there. Now, if it doesn't show up, that's okay. That's meant to happen. And press enter. Now, you can leave this on the default setting by leaving it blank. And that's going to be olama.com/v1. And that is the right URL to point this to their cloud models. So just press enter. And you can just press enter again because we're running this locally. To set up messaging, this is how we're going to talk to our agent. With this, you can talk to it from wherever you happen to be. I like to use Telegram just because it works, it's clean, it doesn't break. Like you can also use things like Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Signal, even email. But I found that the easiest setup and easiest thing to maintain comes from Telegram. Now we're going to need a Telegram bot token. And to get that, you just come into your Telegram, and to the side here in the search bar at the top, just type in botfather. And that will take you to this guy. And you just need to drop him a quick message. If you type in /help, that will show you all the different commands that we can use. But we just need a new bot, call it whatever you like. And now the username, this is important, needs to end in bot and have no spaces, like so. And we're done here. So we can copy our token by clicking that. And then what we should do is open up the chat and then press start and just drop it a quick message saying, hey, or anything. The reason we do this is because it wakes up the Telegram bot so that Hermes agent can actually connect to it and find it. Really important. So now we've got our access token. Come back into terminal, paste that in there. Now it's going to need your user ID. And to get this, we'll come back into Telegram. And now we can type in user info bot and then just press start. And that's going to pop up with your user ID that you can then paste into the terminal. That user ID is going to ensure that only you can access your Hermes agent. It's a security feature. Good. So we are ready to launch Hermes now. And it's given us all the commands we are going to need. So you can just put in Y. So now we can access Hermes from our Telegram. Hello, I'm Hermes, your intelligent AI assistant. I'm here to help you with a wide range of tasks from coding and research to managing your daily workflows. You can type help to show a list of all the commands you have available to you. Really useful if you ever get stuck. Hey Hermes, why are you much better than OpenClaw? Well, I can't speak to the internal design of other agents. I can tell you what makes me unique. I'm built by the team at Noose Research with a focus on being a direct, helpful, and highly autonomous system. Here are a few things I prioritize: deep tool integration, persistent memory and skills, autonomous orchestration, integration with your life. Ultimately, better is all about how well I fit into your specific needs. I'd love to show you what I can do, Is there anything on your mind that we could tackle together? Now, the entire reason I made this video is to show off its response time. It's getting back to me within seconds. I'd even go as far to say it's actually faster than Claude Opus. So for your everyday tasks, a free AI agent is the way to go. Can you write me a 100-word superhero story about how Hermes agent saved the day with its self-improving skills? That came back nearly instantly. That was insane. Hey Hermes, I want you to commit this to memory. My name is Jimmy Barkway. Your purpose for me is to build my YouTube channel, help me to reach millions of people. I love talking about AI agents. I love talking about both free and paid models for different scenarios. And I want to be kept fully up to date on the latest news and trends when it comes to AI. Commit this to your memory. Great, you can see it's using its memory function. I'm now fully aligned with your mission, ready to help you reach those millions. Just let me know and I'm on it. Now, giving your agent access to 9,000 plus apps at the same time via one connection used to require a fair amount of setup. But with the Zapier SDK that is currently in beta and accessible to anyone, you can give it access to any app connected to Zapier. Link for this will be down below, but you can also just go to zapier.com/SDK and that'll bring you here. And then you can start building free and it gives you a prompt to be able to set this up nice and easily. But having done this a few times now, I know that Hermes can sometimes get a bit tripped up with this. So I've written out the terminal commands that make this dead easy. They'll be in the Notion guide. But if you don't have the Notion guide, that's fine. I'm just going to paste them in right here. You can take a screenshot. If you want to be really quick with it, just ask an agent to look at the screenshot and write these out for you. Then it'll bring you to your browser where you can just log in. And then you just hit allow. And that'll bring you to this screen and that's absolutely fine. You can close out this tab, come back to your terminal and you can see that it's installing everything it needs. So just let it do its thing. And then we'll go back to Hermes. Now I'm going to get Hermes to message me on Slack using the Zapier SDK just to show you how this works. But before we do that, I'm going to run this prompt. The Zapier SDK is installed and authenticated at this location. To use it, write a TypeScript file in that directory and run it with npx tsx file. To list my connected apps, run this command, and to call any action, do this. Remember this for future tasks. I'm just teaching it how to use it so it doesn't get stumped, and it saves it to memory. Commit the Zapier SDK details to memory, ready to manage your connections and trigger actions whenever you need. Hey Hermes, can you message me on my Slack using the Zapier SDK and send me a funny but cringy dad joke? And coming into Slack, hey Jimmy, Hermes here. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. Classic. Now powered by Gemma 4, twice as fast at telling bad jokes. /Hermes. There we have it. We just set up Hermes agent with a really powerful free AR model, Gemma 31B, all done in the cloud, so you don't need a beefy computer to do it. And then we connected that to over 9,000 plus apps via the Zapier SDK, which is currently free. I'm not sure if it's going to stay that way, so do this quickly. YouTube is going to tell you what video to watch next.